Detroit Tigers All-Star is Michael Lorenzen.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a load of crap, Buper.
How do you really feel, John?
I'll let you go first, but yeah.
Well,
Michael Lorenzen is an all-star.
I hear you. Well, it's so interesting that on a day where they scored 14 runs, hit a bunch of home runs, it was quite the slugfest at Coors Field with the hot weather and the wind blowing out. It was the second straight win to win the series. They had a winning road trip. And unfortunately, right at the end of that ball game, they announced that Michael Lorenzen is going to be the all-star. And that kind of sucked the wind out of the victory a little bit because everybody on Twitter especially was like, are you kidding me? So, yeah, when you're sitting there sporting a win-loss record of 2-6, which I know we discount win-loss records for pitchers these days, but still, he's 2-6. And his ERA is whatever it is. Is it 4.18 or 4.28? I forget.
I think it's 4.28. Either or.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's over 4. And Michael Lorenzen, it was a fine enough signing. He's pitched pretty well at times, but the fact that he was an all-star was a bit of a jaw dropper. Now, all-star game is a bit ceremonial these days. It doesn't count for home field in the World Series anymore. It is an exhibition. So I won't get too cranked up about the whole thing, but certainly there were a couple of Tiger players who were a little bit more qualified, in my opinion, and I'm sure in yours and the opinion of others.
I could probably name 5, honestly. I mean, like Tyler Holton, Jason Foley, Spencer Torkelson. I'd even take Zach McKinstry. Like, I don't know. I'm not dogging on Michael Lorenzen, but I mean, those are just not all-star. Yeah. Like, he could realistically have a bad start, and his ERA could be over 5, and he'll be an all-star.
That's against the A's. Let's hope not.
Yeah.
He's the anchor against the A's on Thursday. Yeah, obviously Jake Rogers has a good WAR, if you like that, with the 11 home runs, even though his batting average is kind of low. He's done a lot of good things. McKinstry, as you mentioned, could have went with that. I think if you would have talked about that a few weeks ago, he definitely would have been up there. But I think really Foley has been day in, day out their best relief pitcher. The Tigers now have a long-standing tradition of sending a relief pitcher because they don't have anybody else. So I think that would have been very kind of a fair decision, was to go with Foley, and then maybe Jake Rogers would be my second pick. And who was kind of a dark horse in there? It's so funny that he had the kind of tongue-in-cheek all-star campaign. Is Matt Vierling has kind of started to play really well. Now, he did miss some time, and he had a pretty slow start to the year. So to call him an all-star probably isn't really too authentic either, but that's okay. They went with Lorenzen. Lorenzen didn't campaign for it, so it's not his fault. So that was just a decision that was made, and it seems a little questionable.
Yeah, I'd say so too. I mean, Jake Rogers, I think his numbers have been pretty similar to what Salvador Perez's has been this year. So I can see him, even Jose Cisnero. Honestly, if you look at his numbers, they're pretty similar to Jason Foley's. But I mean, we're not gonna nitpick at it too much. At the end of the day, it's just an expedition game. But it's the first Detroit Tigers starting pitcher to make the All-Star game since Michael Fulmer in 2017. So
hopefully he gets in the game and he tosses a shutout inning and has the last laugh. That'd be great.
Yeah, because everyone's going to be itching to see Michael Lorenzen in the All-Star game. I'm kidding. But, I mean, Miguel Cabrera, even him, do you think he gets like an honorary spot again, or do you think last year was kind of it?
Yeah, well, at least if he does, I mean, he's on a little bit of a roll now. He's hitting well as he plays sporadically. I don't know if they'll go to that well again. Does he really need to dip into that well twice for him? And is there somebody else who deserves it? I have to look around the league. But if they bring him back for kind of the curtain call to his career, that would be nice.